Imagine a team that hasn't lost a single match in 28 outings. Like a team that completely threw out the slow, methodical tactics of their continent to just embrace pure high-risk chaos.
Yeah, which is insane in modern international football.
Right. And imagine that same team treating every single goal not just as, a point on a scoreboard, but as an active moment of national healing. Today, we are deep diving into the beautiful, volatile, and honestly highly dangerous machinery of the Colombian national football team.
And we've assembled a massive stack of intel for this one. We're crossing tactical blueprints from their recent qualifiers with deep historical archives. Plus, we're merging that with the latest match reports and filtering it all through the sharpest sports betting projections from Action Network.
Because today is a massive day. I mean, it's June 11th, 2026. The World Cup is officially kicking off across North America.
Finally.
Exactly. Finally. You are gearing up for the tournament. You've got your brackets ready. And our mission today is to arm you with everything you need to know about what I think is the most electric squad in Group K.
Oh, without a doubt.
By the time you're done listening, you're going to see the hidden mechanics happening on the pitch that, frankly, everyone else is missing.
Which is really crucial with Colombia. Because on the surface, they just look like pure emotion.
Right.
Right? I mean, they completely missed the 2022 World Cup in Qatar.
Which was a total disaster for them.
Viewed internally as a catastrophic failure. But their response under manager Nestor Lorenzo has just been staggering. Going 28 matches unbeaten in international football is a statistical anomaly.
It really is.
I mean, they even reached the 2024 Copa America final, dragging a dominant Argentina squad through 112 agonizing minutes before finally conceding.
Yeah, they're out for total redemption. But before we start moving magnets around the tactical whiteboard, we really have to look at the psychological engine powering this team.
The emotional side.
Right. You hear the nicknames, Los Cafeteros, the coffee growers, La Tricolor for the yellow, blue, and red of their flag. But the one that really captures the visual reality is La Fibra Amarilla, the yellow fever.
Anyone who has watched a major international tournament knows exactly what that looks like. When Colombia plays, the host titties literally transform.
It's just a sea of yellow.
Exactly. The stadiums become these massive carnival-like community events driven by the rhythm of traditional cumbia and vallenato music, just echoing from the stands.
And if you're watching them on TV this month, I guarantee the cameras are going to cut to El Cole.
Oh, of course. The legend.
Yes, he's this legendary superfan who has been attending matches for over 30 years, dressed in this enormous, elaborate condor costume. He's basically the unofficial mascot of the nation.
He really is.
I look at this massive traveling fan base, both from within Colombia and the global diaspora, and I see them as a literal emotional battery. They travel in such sheer numbers that they artificially manufacture a home field advantage literally anywhere on the planet.
They do.
Yeah.
But that carnival atmosphere, it's intoxicating, but it also masks a profoundly heavy historical legacy. To understand the psychology of Colombian football, you really have to look back at the 1994 World Cup in the United States.
Right, the era of Carlos Valderrama, the golden generation.
Exactly. They came in as dark horse favorites to win the whole tournament, but they just imploded in the group stage.
But the implosion on the pitch was, well, it was only part of it. The tragedy that followed fundamentally rewired the nation.
Yeah. Shortly after returning to Colombia, their center back, Andres Escobar, was murdered.
Which was just horrific. He was known globally as the gentleman of football.
He was the absolute embodiment of clean, calm, sportsmanlike conduct.
And his death was a trauma that the country and the national team really had to process on a global stage.
It forced a massive internal reckoning. So today, Colombia's modern sportsmanship isn't just like a cultural preference. It's an active generational mechanism of national healing.
It's deep.
It's an institutional pillar. And this creates a uniquely dangerous psychological opponent for other teams. Colombia isn't just playing to advance out of Group K. They play with the weight of redeeming their nation's history on their shoulders.
So, if that is the emotional fuel, how do you build an engine that can actually harness it without blowing up?
Right.
Enter Nestor Lorenzo. He's a 60-year-old Argentine, but he was the primary assistant to Jose Pekerman during Colombia's massive run to the 2014 World Cup quarterfinals.
And Lorenzo's genius was bringing structural continuity while aggressively updating the software, so to speak.
What do you mean by that?
Well, historically, South American football can lean heavily into slow, possession-based build-up play,
Hmm.
passing the ball horizontally, looking for tiny openings.
Right, very methodical.
Exactly. Lorenzo rejected that entirely. He implemented a fluid 4-3-3 system designed around transition speed.
Okay, let's translate that for the listener who maybe isn't a massive tactical nerd.
Right.
What does transition speed physically look like when you are sitting in the stands?
It means the second Colombia wins the ball back deep in their own territory, they do not hesitate, like at all.
Zero hesitation.
They utilize the physical recovery pace of center backs like Davinson Sanchez to clean up a loose ball. And within 2 seconds, they launch a vertical pass, bypassing the midfield entirely.
Just going right over the top.
Yeah, they want to catch the opposing defense while they're still jogging backward. They rely heavily on set pieces, too, looking for physical targets like Yerry Mina and John Cordoba.
They basically turn a football match into a track meet. But the sources point out a massive structural vulnerability here. To create the width for these attacks, Lorenzo pushes his two fullbacks, Daniel Munoz on the right and Johan Mojica on the left, insanely high up the field.
Oh, yeah. They practically camp out near the opponent's penalty box.
They function as auxiliary wingers in possession, which is great because it overloads the opponent's defense. But if you push your wide defenders all the way up the pitch, aren't you just begging to be counterattacked?
You absolutely are. You are leaving your two central defenders completely isolated on an island near the halfway line.
It feels like stretching a rubber band to its absolute limit. Like it snaps forward with incredible force. But if the opponent cuts it, the whole structure just collapses.
The rubber band analogy is mechanically perfect. That high line is Colombia's most glaring flaw. Elite opponents with fast wingers will just stare at the empty acres of grass behind Munoz and Mojica and lick their chops.
Right, which is terrifying.
Lorenzo knows this, though, which is why he uses a highly specific defensive trap called a mid-block press.
Okay, define the mid-block press for us.
So instead of chasing the ball all the way to the opponent's goalkeeper or packing all 11 men into their own penalty box to defend, Colombia sets their defensive line near the middle of the pitch.
They just wait.
Exactly. They wait for the opponent to enter that middle third, and then they swarm them. The goal is to steal the ball with 50 yards of open grass behind the opponent's defense, creating the ultimate sprint track for their forwards.
And the absolute linchpin of this entire high-wire act is Jefferson Lerma, the midfielder from Crystal Palace.
Oh, yeah. Without Lerma, the system shatters. He operates as the single defensive pivot.
Which means he's doing the work of two guys.
Pretty much. Think of his role like a giant windshield wiper moving side to side across the midfield. His singular job is to cover those vast lateral spaces vacated by the attacking fullbacks and aggressively foul or tackle the opponent before they can launch a counterattack.
He's the safety net under the tightrope walker. But, I mean, being a professional disruptor means he is constantly playing on the edge of the rules. The sources highlight that Lerma has collected 15 yellow cards in his international career.
He is a magnet for the referee's notebook. And managing his discipline in a short tournament is terrifying for a manager.
I bet.
Because if Lerma accumulates yellow cards and gets suspended for a crucial knockout match, that highline vulnerability gets exposed instantly.
Which brings us to the actual weapons executing this system. The players Lorenzo is bringing to North America are a really fascinating mix of aging royalty and explosive new blood.
Right.
Let's start with the crown jewel, Luis Diaz.
Diaz is the ultimate beneficiary of that mid-block trap we just discussed. Now playing for Bayern Munich, coming off an outrageous 45-goal and assist season, he is a world-class dribbler.
He's unstoppable in open space.
He really is. When Colombia forces a turnover, they instantly funnel the ball wide left to Diaz. Because the opponent is caught in transition, Diaz frequently finds himself isolated one-on-one with a retreating defender.
Which is a nightmare scenario for any defense.
Total nightmare.
Then you look at the other side of the coin, the captain, James Rodriguez. He is 34 years old now, currently managing his minutes with Minnesota United in MLS.
Yep.
I remember watching him win the Golden Boot in 2014. He was electric, but he simply does not have the physical mobility to run in a track meet system anymore.
Which is where Lorenzo's tactical architecture shows its brilliance and, honestly, its greatest weakness. Lorenzo designed this aggressive, fast-paced system specifically to shield James. Well, the other 10 players do all the running, all the pressing, and all the defending. They effectively build a fortress around him so he can just stand in the center of the pitch and orchestrate the attack with his left foot. He's their primary set-piece specialist, too.
It's like having a veteran quarterback operating in the pocket. But if you're the opposing manager, isn't the blueprint kind of obvious?
Blitz the quarterback.
Exactly. You put two big physical midfielders right on James, and you take away his time and space.
And that is the core structural dependency right there. If an opponent successfully suffocates James, Colombia loses their central progression. Their attack becomes entirely one-dimensional.
They just pass it to Diaz and pray.
Yeah. They have to rely exclusively on Diaz performing individual magic on the wing, which is much easier to defend against when you know it's coming.
Enter the new blood to take the pressure off. I am fascinated by Richard Rios.
Oh, he is the missing piece of the puzzle. A 26-year-old midfielder currently at Benfica. His game really matured under Jose Mourinho. Rios provides what scouts call elite press resistance.
Meaning, when two defenders swarm him, he doesn't panic and lose the ball.
Precisely. He has the physical strength and close ball control to absorb the pressure, hold on to the ball, and carry it out of danger. If teams try to blitz James, Rios is the pressure valve that can dribble straight through the trap.
You also have Gustavo Puerta, who is the youngest member of the squad at 22, playing for Racing Santander in Spain.
He's a highly physical, modern engine. Lorenzo uses him to close out tight games in the second half.
And a quick bonus note from the sources, we should definitely keep an eye on John Arias, who just scored 2 clinical goals in their 2-0 tune-up win over Jordan. So, I mean, the firepower is clearly there.
The balance of seasoned veterans and high-energy youth is excellent. The question is how that balance survives the meat grinder of the group stage over the next 2 weeks.
Right. So let's map this all out. We have the schedule, we have the tactics, and we have the Action Network betting data to look at the angles for Group K.
It is a wildly diverse group. Colombia, Portugal, DR Congo, and Uzbekistan.
Let's look at Match 1, June 17th against Uzbekistan in Mexico City.
Oh, brutal.
Right at the Estadio Azteca, so you have the altitude factor immediately.
Altitude, combined with a brutal tactical matchup. Uzbekistan is managed by the Italian defensive legend Fabio Cannavaro, and, well, you know how Italians defend.
Oh, yeah.
He deploys a highly disciplined, low-risk defensive block.
For the listener at home, a low block essentially means parking the bus. Cannavaro is going to pack all of his defenders tight around his own penalty box, leaving absolutely no open grass behind them.
Which completely neutralizes Colombia's greatest strength, transition speed.
Yeah.
You can't launch Luis Diaz into open space if the space doesn't exist.
Right. There's nowhere to run.
To break Cannavaro's structure, Colombia will have to rely heavily on set pieces. They'll need James whipping curling free kicks and corners toward those physical targets.
Then Match 2 is June 23rd against DR Congo in Guadalajara.
Yeah.
Managed by Sebastian de Sabra, this is a highly athletic African side featuring Yohan Wissa from the Premier League. This feels like the exact opposite of the Uzbekistan game.
It is the ultimate stress test for the rubber band. DR Congo has the raw athletic profile and the straight-line speed to ruthlessly expose Colombia's high defensive line.
It's going to be a track meet.
A scary one. If Jefferson Lerma misses a single tackle in the midfield, Yohan Wissa will be punishing those isolated center backs on the counter all day.
Wow. Then we arrive at the main event. Match 3. June 27th against Portugal in Miami at Hard Rock Stadium.
This is going to be incredible.
Given the massive South American diaspora in South Florida, this is practically a home game for Colombia. The stadium will be entirely yellow. It's Cristiano Ronaldo versus James Rodriguez to decide who wins the group.
The complexity here is that the final group games are played simultaneously. While Colombia plays Portugal, DR Congo is playing Uzbekistan, so the advancement math will be shifting minute by minute.
Looking at the Action Network odds, Portugal are the heavy favorites to win Group K at -215, but the analysts are pointing to Colombia as the smart value bet at +220.
Really?
Yeah. The Opta supercomputer actually gives Colombia a 29.3% chance to steal the group from Portugal.
Which is a massive analytical endorsement. However, when projecting the entire tournament, analysts agree that the quarterfinals, which you can bet outright at around 40-1, represents Colombia's most realistic ceiling before their structural flaws finally catch up to them.
If you are watching these games, or if you are placing a wager, here is the sharpest angle identified in the sources. The smart money is on Colombia to score a goal in all 3 group games at -125.
The logic there is sound. I mean, they have too much firepower not to score against Uzbekistan and DR Congo. The only variable is finding the net against Portugal.
Right.
But considering Portugal's tendency to leave their center backs exposed and Luis Diaz's ability to capitalize on chaos, finding 1 goal in Miami is highly probable.
But the secret to that Miami game, the thing you need to watch on your screen during the first two matches, is Nestor Lorenzo's substitution board.
Oh, absolutely.
If he manages James Rodriguez's minutes, smartly taking the 34-year-old off the pitch early if they have a lead against Uzbekistan or DR Congo, he preserves those legs. If James is fully rested for June 27th, Colombia has a genuine tactical shot at ambushing Portugal.
Rotational management is everything here. If Lorenzo forces his aging quarterback to play 90 minutes in the altitude of Mexico City, the engine will completely seize up before they even reach the knockout rounds.
So if we distill this entire deep dive down, you are looking at a squad built on high-octane track meet transitions, fueled by undeniable, historic fan passion, and orchestrated by the brilliant but fading left foot of a veteran playmaker.
Well said.
They absolutely have the firepower to dominate Group K, but the minute they face elite opposition, that high defensive line is a ticking time bomb.
They are the very definition of a high-risk, high-reward tactical machine. They're going to be thrilling to watch, but they will be living on a razor's edge for the entire tournament.
There is one final thought we didn't touch on, though. Something you should keep in the back of your mind as you watch Group K play out over the next couple weeks.
What's that?
Because the World Cup expanded to a 48-team format this year, the bracket math tells us that if Colombia escapes their group, they're on a direct, unavoidable collision course with a European heavyweight in the knockout rounds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Since the tragic summer of 1994, Colombia has desperately chased true footballing redemption on the global stage. They have the talent, they have the passion, but historically, Europe has been the immovable wall they just cannot climb.
It's true.
Will Nestor Lorenzo's aggressive, fearless pressing system finally be the mechanism that breaks the European curse? Or will the physical limits of their golden generation cause that emotional engine to buckle when the pressure is highest? That is something you will have to watch for yourselves. Enjoy the World Cup.